My roommate stole from me, so I waited 6 months for revenge. I never thought I'd become the kind of person who would spend half a year planning revenge. For most of my life, I was the guy who avoided conflict. I returned extra change when cashiers made mistakes. I apologized when people bumped into me. I spent years convincing myself that being the bigger person always paid off. Then I met my roommate, Tyler. And Tyler taught me that some people mistake kindness for weakness. 3 years ago, I moved to a new city for work. Rent prices were ridiculous, and I couldn't afford a decent apartment on my own. Through a housing group online, I found Tyler. 27 years old. Friendly. Funny. Good job. Clean apartment. At least that's what his profile said. When I first met him, he seemed great. He helped me move furniture, introduced me to neighbors, even bought pizza on my first night. I remember calling my mom and telling her I'd gotten lucky. Looks like I found the perfect roommate. I couldn't have been more wrong. The first few months were fine. Then little things started disappearing. Nothing major. A bottle of soda, a frozen dinner, a package of batteries. I assumed I was forgetting things. Everyone misplaces stuff occasionally. Then it escalated. One day, I bought an expensive steak. I was planning to cook it Friday night. Thursday evening it vanished. Tyler claimed he hadn't seen it. I believed him. A week later, my favorite hoodie disappeared. Tyler denied knowing anything. Again, I believed him. Because that's what reasonable people do. They don't immediately assume someone is lying. The turning point happened 4 months after I moved in. I got home from work and opened my desk drawer. My emergency cash fund was gone. $500. Missing. I checked everywhere. Every drawer. Every backpack. Every jacket pocket. Nothing. The money had been there the night before. Now it wasn't. I felt sick. I confronted Tyler. He looked genuinely offended. You're accusing me? I'm asking if you've seen it. No. That's a lot of money. Maybe you spent it. I knew I hadn't. But I had no proof. No cameras. No witnesses. Nothing. So I dropped it. At least outwardly. Inside, though, something changed. I started paying attention. Really paying attention. And once I did, I noticed patterns. Tyler always seemed to have extra cash despite constantly complaining about being broke. New shoes. New electronics. Restaurant meals. Weekend trips. Yet every month, he somehow struggled to pay rent. It didn't add up. One evening, I came home early from work. Tyler didn't know I had the day off. As I walked toward the apartment, I saw him exiting my bedroom. My bedroom. He froze. I froze. For a moment, we just stared at each other. What are you doing? I asked. His answer came instantly. Looking for the vacuum. The vacuum was stored in the hallway closet. We both knew it. That night, I ordered a hidden camera. Not because I wanted revenge. At least not yet. I wanted proof. The camera arrived 3 days later. I hid it inside a small digital clock on my bookshelf. Then I waited. 48 hours later, I had my answer. Tyler entered my room while I was at work. Opened drawers. Checked shelves. Searched my closet. And finally took money from a jar hidden beneath spare blankets. $100. Then he left. Like it was completely normal. I watched the footage 6 times. Not because I doubted what I'd seen. Because I was furious. The casualness bothered me most. He wasn't desperate. He wasn't starving. He wasn't panicking. He was simply stealing. Because he thought he could. I considered calling the police. But realistically, $100. A roommate dispute. No officer was going to launch a major investigation. Even with video, Tyler would deny everything. Claim it was his money. Claim we shared things. Claim whatever he needed. The process would become a nightmare. So I made a different decision. I would wait. People think revenge is emotional, impulsive, explosive. The best revenge isn't. The best revenge is patient. Over the next 6 months, I became Tyler's best friend. Seriously, I became the nicest roommate he'd ever had. I never argued. Never accused him again. Never acted suspicious. Gradually, he relaxed. Then he got careless. Meanwhile, I collected evidence. Every theft. Every lie. Every time he entered my room. Every missing item. Everything went into a folder. Videos. Dates. Photos. Screenshots. Receipts. I documented everything. By month 6, I had dozens of recordings. Thousands of dollars worth of stolen property. Then fate handed me the perfect opportunity. Tyler announced he was moving out. He'd found a better apartment. A luxury place downtown. Apparently, his girlfriend's parents were helping. He spent weeks bragging about it. Talking about fresh starts. Talking about upgrades. Talking about how excited he was. I smiled and congratulated him. Inside, I was counting down. His final week arrived. Then his final day. Friends showed up with trucks. Boxes filled the living room. Everyone was celebrating. Tyler acted like a king, laughing, drinking beer, taking pictures, enjoying the attention. He had no idea what was coming. Around noon, his girlfriend arrived. Then her parents. Then more friends. About 10 people total. The apartment felt packed. Tyler loved being the center of attention, which made what happened next even better. As everyone gathered in the living room, I cleared my throat. Before you leave, I wanted to give you something. Tyler grinned. A goodbye gift? You could call it that. I connected my laptop to the television and pressed play. The first video appeared. Tyler entering my room, opening drawers, taking money. Silence filled the apartment. Absolute silence. The kind that makes your ears ring. Tyler's smile vanished. His girlfriend looked confused. Her father folded his arms. Nobody spoke. The video ended. Then another began. And another. And another. For nearly 20 minutes, everyone watched Tyler steal. Money, electronics, clothes, tools, packages, anything he thought he could get away with. Different dates, different weeks, different months. Always the same behavior. Always the same guilty face. Tyler finally stood up. Turn this off. I didn't. Instead, I opened the spreadsheet. Every stolen item. Every estimated value. Every date. Total losses. $3,842. His girlfriend looked like she'd seen a ghost. Her father asked one question. Is this real? I handed him a flash drive. Every original file is here. Tyler started shouting, claiming I was obsessed, claiming I'd invaded his privacy, claiming the videos were misleading. Nobody bought it, because everyone had just watched him commit theft for 20 minutes straight. Then came the best part, the lease. You see, Tyler thought he was getting his security deposit back, $1,200. He'd already planned how to spend it. What he didn't know was that I'd already spoken with the landlord and shown him everything. The landlord walked through the apartment 2 days earlier. He discovered damaged furniture, missing fixtures, broken blinds, destroyed carpet, all linked to Tyler. Not me. Tyler. The evidence was undeniable. His deposit disappeared instantly. Every penny. And he still owed additional damages. When Tyler learned this, he looked like someone had punched him in the stomach. His face went pale. His mouth literally hung open. He kept repeating, "This can't be happening." Oh, but it was. Then his girlfriend did something unexpected. She handed me a small envelope. Inside was $600. What is this? I asked. She looked embarrassed. I think this belongs to you. Apparently, she'd recently found cash hidden among Tyler's belongings. He claimed it came from gambling winnings. Now she knew where it actually came from. That was the moment Tyler realized he had lost everyone. Not just money. Everyone. His friends. His girlfriend. Her family. His reputation. All gone. People slowly left. One by one. Nobody wanted to help him move anymore. Nobody wanted to talk. Nobody wanted explanations. The evidence spoke for itself. By evening, only Tyler remained, sitting on the floor among half-packed boxes, looking defeated. For the first time since I'd known him, he was completely silent. As I carried out the last box, he finally spoke. You waited 6 months. I nodded. Why? I looked around the apartment, at the room he'd searched dozens of times, at the place where he'd stolen from me over and over. Then I gave him the only answer he deserved. Because I wanted everyone to know exactly who you are. I never saw him again. His girlfriend left him. Several mutual friends cut contact. And according to one neighbor, he ended up moving into a tiny studio apartment alone. Do I recommend revenge? Usually no. Most of the time it's not worth it. But every now and then, life gives you a rare opportunity. An opportunity to let someone face the consequences of their own actions. No tricks. No lies. No sabotage. Just the truth. Patiently documented. Carefully preserved. And revealed at exactly the right moment. Sometimes that's all the revenge you need.